Welcome to Melanin Combos, where we hold space for real stories, sacred healing, and deep connection.
One faith, two voices, unpacking healing, culture, and everything in between. Let's talk.
Welcome to Melanin Combos. This is episode 4. Is it episode 4?
Yeah,
okay. Episode 4. And today we're going to be talking about making new goals for 2026 and how we go about making new goals, creating a rhythm, all that fun stuff. So we'll just jump right into it. So Nigel, how does making yearly goals make you feel?
Great. It makes me feel motivated, to be honest. It gives me a focus in terms of what I want the year to look like, or at least it gives me things to actively work towards. So I know one of the things that I did for like 2025 last year, depending on when this gets released, it'll be last year. By the top of last year in January, or maybe even like December of 24, I kind of just drafted out things that I wanted to do in 2025, and I separated them by quarters, essentially. So I said, like, in Q1, this is kind of some of the things that I want to do, get done, Q2, and so forth and so forth. And then at the end of 2025 in December, I took the time to or November going to December, I took the time to kind of just review and look at some of the things that I did or didn't do. And it was a mixed emotions or duality of things. I was really grateful for the things that I got to do and accomplish and finish, but there were other things that I saw that I dropped off on.
Right.
And not ask myself the question, why did I drop, or I'll rephrase that, not beat myself up that it didn't happen, but kind of put things into context. So I know, like, for example, there were things that I wanted to do in Q3, but there were things that happened in Q3 that I obviously didn't account for. So, for example, there was a whole Air Canada strike, and my family was stuck in Toronto while I was back home in Edmonton. So a lot of things that I would have been working on in August, my mind just wasn't there to work on that because there were other things of priority that needed my attention. So putting things into context was important. But overall, yes, setting goals, planning out the year, I enjoy that. It keeps me grounded, keeps me focused, and it allows me to be focused in a perspective of saying no to things, things that are not in alignment with what I am striving for in this upcoming year or in this current year. So yeah, overall, I enjoy goal setting. I don't find it overwhelming. I don't find it daunting. I think for me, it allows me to put things into perspective and allows me to set a good pace for myself throughout the year, because one thing for me, I enjoy being productive, but I enjoy being productive at a healthy pace. So yeah.
Nice.
How about you?
I like making goals. I don't know if, like, right now I enjoy making yearly goals.
Okay.
I don't know if I think I feel pressure about, like, the calendar turns over and then you have to have, like, these goals, like, already planned or, like, considered. And I don't know, I feel like adulting is just a lot of pressure. Like, so much pressure to either, like, you need to, like, reflect on the goals that you did in, like, November so that you can actually, like, plan and consider what you, like, and then you need to pray about it and then consult. I just feel like a lot of pressure around, like, making goals and, like, sticking to goals and accomplishing them and all the things. It feels like a lot of pressure to me. So I don't really love making yearly goals, but I do enjoy making, I don't know if enjoy is the word, but I do see the benefit of making a goal, sticking to the goal, and seeing how that goal was beneficial or, like, comes to fruition. So, of course, everyone loves seeing the end result.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about about goal making on a yearly basis. I think I probably prefer making like smaller goals that I can see the end.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you enjoy building momentum.
Yeah, I think a year is too long, and sometimes you can get like lost in the sauce.
Fair.
Because it's just so long, even though it's not so long. So, okay, so what are some of my 2025 wins? You can share like 2 of yours, and we did. I don't know if you guys saw like the trending accomplishment cake. We did that, so you can watch it on Instagram. We'll share the link. Yeah. So one of my 2025 wins, something I'm really, really proud of, is actually going back and looking for the therapist that I had a few years ago, and like starting the process of going back to individual therapy. That's one thing. Another thing that I am really proud of is a work accomplishment where I was able to pitch and plan and execute a program that I was really looking forward to doing for like Black youth in the Edmonton area. So I was really, really proud of that goal. And another win. What's another win? I don't know. You share your win and I'll come back.
No worries. A win for me this year, or last year rather, in 2025, was me being able to start a course that I've been wanting to start for the better part of a year, finally having the time, or at least creating the time to pay for the course and start the course. I haven't finished the course yet, but I'm currently enrolled in it, and I'm hoping to finish that course in 2026, or at least let's say maybe Q2, Q3 of this year. So that's something that I'm really proud of myself for. And then another win for me is just being consistent with reading. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing, and it's something that is evolving a bit more publicly, or at least I'm allowing it to evolve a bit more publicly. I've always kind of been an avid reader, and I think now I'm just inviting the world, or letting the world in on my little
very humble plug. Nigel has become like Instagram bookgram. We call it book talk on TikTok, but now it's become bookgram on Instagram. So
I guess so. Yeah,
you review books and you share books.
Yeah, I do that. I guess it's an extension of me.
It is.
Whatever. But yeah, that's something that I'm enjoying. I would say is a win for me. Just being able to just read and just shifting. I feel like that's been a big win for me overall. Just shifting the trajectory of my personal development. I would say is a win for me last year. So.
Okay, so I have my last one. So cool. I'm really proud of myself for being able to actually execute on homeschooling our son on Thursdays from when he started school. It's literally only 3 months, but I'm really proud that I stuck to it. I've learned a lot of things from the experience, and I am excited to use what I've learned to pivot and like come up with a new plan for 2026. So I'm proud of myself for doing that.
Cool. Great. So let's talk about New Year reset. As you said, it's like a new thing, or not a new thing, but it's a thing that happens every year that people are either gung-ho about, excited, or other people feel a tremendous pressure.
Stress.
Yeah, stress, pressure in doing. So talk about the New Year reset. Why is this important? Why do people love New Year goals? What's your perspective? What's your thoughts on that?
I think we as humans love the idea of a clean slate. Okay. And so starting a goal at the beginning of the year feels like it feels like, okay, I have an opportunity to do something on a clean like slate.
Yeah.
Like it's new.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I haven't really experienced yet because the year is just starting.
Yeah.
And so like we do that at the beginning of the year, beginning of a semester, beginning of a new job, a new relationship. Like we like new.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one of the reasons why like we have this love for it. I also do think it's part of we need something to look forward to.
Yeah,
I think there's a little bit of hustle culture that is ingrained in that. Like Christmas is done, okay, now there's something else to look forward to. Like we're always looking to the next thing and like achieving towards the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that may also be part of it. But I did look up some research.
Okay.
And so there is a study out there. Let me just confirm the name. It is by the Pennington Biomedical Research Center in the United States.
Cool.
So it's a very small study. So they took 52 students. Granted, these students also like identified themselves as wanting to be a part of the study. So that's important because they weren't forced. So you already have a motivation to do your goal. Okay, so they asked these 52 students about making New Year's goals. And of course, a lot of the goals surrounded around health, interpersonal relationships, typical things that we make goals around. And so what they found was that people with approach-oriented goals were more successful than those who had avoidant-oriented goals. So literally 50% of the people were successful compared to 47% of participants who had avoidant-oriented goals. So basically, an approach-oriented goal would be like, what is the plan in order for you to achieve this goal? As opposed to say, I'm not going to eat cake.
Gotcha.
Or I'm not going to eat carbs.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to smoke. Like those are all avoidance goals. Yeah. And almost kind of like cold turkey, you're going to stop. Like I'm going to stop doing this.
Right.
On January 1 when I've been doing it.
Right.
Right? So
to chime in there, I think that study is really great because I think it highlights, which goal orientation which goal orientation works, so to say. Yeah. But I think even as you're reading the article, you're hearing us speak about it, it's to each their own as well. I think that there are certain individuals that benefit from like the cold turkey approach or the avoidant type or avoidance goal orientation or to be oriented. You know what I'm trying to say. There are people that benefit from that, but there are also people that benefit from a plan. There are people that need a plan. So I think if we were to even like use us as an example, I can be cold turkey at times.
Oh, tell us.
I can be cold turkey in certain goals or things that I want to do for myself. Like
for example?
What would be an example?
What is it? I want to know what example you mean cold turkey.
No, so for example, like when I started like my weight loss journey last year, I didn't really put a plan in place in terms of I love sweets, I love cookies, pastries, all that. I didn't put a plan in place. I just said I'm not eating it, and I went about 4.5 months without really. Yeah, because I started in.
You didn't have one cookie for 4 months?
I didn't. I cut back on a lot of my sweets and everything.
Okay, you cut back.
No, but there were things that I was also avoiding as well. So, like, for example, like pop. I didn't have pop
I understand.
for like pretty much the entire. I think my first time I had pop was maybe like September, October.
We don't drink pop.
Like we've cut all that out. Like pastries and cookies, there was at least 3-4 months where I wasn't eating it from like February up until February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, around like May, June, I wasn't touching it. So that's me. But there are other things that I had to put a plan in place in order for me to not. So like using that same example, now that we're approaching like a year into this, I know that a plan for me is that we can't buy it. Like I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy it unless I'm like treating myself,
right?
Kind of thing. And we don't typically like buy that much.
We change how we go.
Yeah, we change how we go shop, stuff like that. So like it's
not
coming in the house. So if it's not coming in the house, and I'm not really buying it like that, that's a part of the plan for me as well. Yeah. So all I'm trying to say is like both sides of the coin works for individuals, to each their own.
Unless you're like Nikita and you need a plan, because you can't just the plan, like, so in making SMART goals, I have to make SMART goals in order for me to achieve something, because I'll just be like, okay, well, it's not working, so I'm not doing it.
Gotcha.
Like, but there has to be a lot of, I guess there has to be an ecosystem around the goal in order for me to accomplish the goal. That I've learned. And which is like the longer way around. But I think it is, well, for me, it has been more beneficial because it has been more, I've been more consistent.
Gotcha. That brings us to committing to better rhythms over goal. And I think this one is I don't want to use the term like a big one, but I think this one can be really beneficial, or at least that reframing of mindset where it's more about a rhythm than it is a goal. So, for example, fitness has been something that I wouldn't say is contention, but me and Nikita have different relationships when it comes to fitness. So it's not to say that we weren't fit kids, or we didn't play sports like as kids. We did all of that, but as we've grown up, become adults, we have responsibilities. Our relationship dynamic has changed with that. Fitness for me isn't as hard as it is for Nikita. Nikita doesn't like going to the gym. She doesn't like working out.
Okay, I don't think it's that I don't like going to the gym, but for me, it's that I think it's a waste of time.
Okay.
Like, to me, spending, I don't know, I think maybe I'm just product-oriented person. Cool. I cannot spend 6 hours a week at the gym and what did I gain from those 6 hours? Okay. So to me, leaving my house to go drive there, pay a membership for 6 hours a week, and I don't see no results.
How long are you expecting? How quickly are you expecting?
But I'm expecting to, so let's say over a month, 6 hours a week times 4, that's 24.
Okay.
24 hours of putting in something, I must see something come out of that.
And you will. But it's also,
I don't think you will.
But it is also the aspect of what are you expecting to see in those 20
anything
that 30-day
it needs to be recognizable to me that I spent 24 hours doing something.
But it can be. I think it's the aspect of what is it that you are looking for to see and making a SMART goal, as you said. So maybe our expectation doesn't fit the time frame that we are setting for. All in all, what I was saying, rhythms and goals. So I think for me, what has helped why I like goals, because for me, it's an aspect of a rhythm. So some of the things that I'm able to do is because it's not just a goal, it's a rhythm that I'm creating for myself. So again, avid reader, for people that read like 30 books a year, kudos to them. I ain't there. I don't think I'll probably be there. Yeah, but for them to do that, they've created a rhythm for themselves to read. So that means they are saying no to certain things, saying yes to other things in order for that rhythm of reading or reaching that goal of 30 books a year to be beneficial. Fitness for us, I've made that a rhythm for myself, which is not only concise of me or consistent of me going to the gym, because reality, guys, I only go to the gym twice a week. Based on the rhythm of my family dynamic, my responsibilities, I physically only get to go to the gym twice a week. When things get when the schedule changes or there's a bit of more free time, then I'll get a gym session in, whatever the case may be. No, that's a lie. I go to the gym 3 times a week, Thursday mornings. But so I get home. Because he's home, so I get to go. But 2 to 3 times a week is all I get to do. So I've understood that fitness isn't just about going to the gym. It's also what you're eating. It's also being aware of what you're taking in your body. So I've created a rhythm around that in terms of just like, my rhythm is eating healthier. My rhythm is moving my body. My rhythm is going to
It's not a rhythm, babes.
Why is that not a rhythm?
That's not a rhythm.
How is that not a rhythm?
Those are intentions. Like, those are things that it's not, okay, so what I mean why it's not, okay, for example, because this is the rhythm that I intend on doing for next year around.
Okay.
So my goal is to lose 20 pounds.
Cool.
Okay, that's my goal. The rhythm that I'm creating around that, and I think I need to do things that are mindless in order for me to do it.
Okay, go ahead.
So the rhythm that I've created around that is I have a walking pad. I'm going to walk on my walking pad every day for 30 minutes.
Okay.
In addition to that, I will 2 days out of the week, I will do an at-home workout in the evening. And 1 day out of the week, I'll go to Pilates. I have a Pilates membership.
So
that's
what
a rhythm.
You say that's any different from me?
You said I'm eating healthier.
But I'm creating a rhythm.
That's not a rhythm. You didn't action on what you were doing.
What are you talking about?
You said I'm eating healthier. There's no action on that. You didn't. What's the action? How are you going to do that?
I have to make the food.
Yeah, so you need to tell me how you're going to action. Like, what is the rhythm? And it's a rhythm because it's something that you do in your day. So why it's a rhythm is I'm working. Okay. And so I'm going to walk on my walking pad. Okay. Because I'm already there. Okay. So I've made that a part of, or I'm going to make that a part of what I do while I am at work. I walk on my walking pad for 30 minutes while I'm at work. That's
the rhythm of my so the rhythm of my week is that I'm gonna be eating healthy. I'm gonna be moving my body.
You're breaking it down for the folks who are like me.
My apologies, people. I guess I'm too advanced. No problem.
Don't toot your own horn. Don't toot. Okay, so that is an example of creating a rhythm around like a goal. I think another example would be like these are all my rhythms. So because I manage our budget and I literally go into our budget app and like not allocate but update and move things around, a rhythm around that goal would be I setting aside, let's say 20 minutes on Fridays to double check the app. Okay. Yeah. And like also before, because I go shopping every other week. On a Friday. So because it is a Friday that I'm double checking the app, it's also the Friday that I'm looking to see, okay, how much money did I spend on groceries and how much do I have left? Okay. So that's my rhythm. I check the app once a week on a Friday to double check and make sure that like the funds are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay. But that's because the goal is to stay within budget for groceries or whatever. So that's the goal, stay within budget for the groceries. I've allocated let's say $700 for groceries, staying within that budget. And then revisiting the app every Friday to make sure that I know what I can spend, what I have spent, and like reworking some of the numbers, etc. Gotcha. So that's a rhythm around that goal. There's a book that I've seen online. It's called 12 week goals. Okay. So essentially, I haven't read the book, but I plan to read the book because, again, remember how I said, like, a whole year is so daunting and, like, sometimes you get lost in the sauce because it's so long. You say, oh, you keep putting it off. Yeah. But I believe this book really helps you to act on a goal within 12 weeks. So, like, you're really putting, what's the word? Pressure to the metal? Metal to the pressure?
Pedal to the metal.
There. With the goal, with whatever the goal is, like you really are creating rhythms around your day that help you accomplish this goal. So you're literally actively working toward it. If I want to try it, but I feel like it'll be overwhelming. Because you have to be like you're on for 12 weeks to make sure that you accomplish it.
You just need to make your SMART goals and stick to your goals.
Okay, so there's that book. I've heard a lot of great things about it, so you can check that out. So another thing that, as we talk about like creating rhythms and just, saying no more to hustle culture and like being overly productive. Yeah. Something that like I am starting to do. I did it last year. I think it's going to be my cadence. Like this is my thing that I do every single year. So last year I decided that again, I would tune out. So I do make content. So I decided I would tune out. Like I'm not making any content. I'm not doom scrolling on social media. Like I am also not even creating goals. Not that I'm not creating goals, because we create our goals for our family and for ourselves in November, December of the previous year. So I already know what it is that I want to achieve or what I want to work towards, but I'm not actioning on them in the first month and a half of the year.
Okay.
So I spend that whole time really just like being with the Lord, studying something that's to do with faith. Whatever I'm curious about, I don't have understanding about. Like I spend the time, I get the books, I get the resources, and I just study and I read. And obviously, I go to work. Obviously, I still update our budget.
Yeah.
I do all of those things, but I'm not doing anything new. I'm just maintaining the cadence of a lot of our goals.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I do the first month and a half, and I feel like I don't know, something about always having to be on is just so draining and like daunting to me. And I feel like if nature hibernates, why don't we? Like there has to be opportunities for us to not create, not actively producing something.
Gotcha.
And something like for me, the fear of missing out is a real thing. Like I do experience the fear of missing out.
Okay. Which
is why I need to come off social media altogether. So that has been something that I've struggled with. Yeah. But I decided like I'm just gonna pull back, and then in March, when it's springtime. Yeah. But if you live in Alberta, you don't get no springtime. I start like making content again. I start engaging. I start like doing the things that I know I want to do to achieve the goals that I have. Like I'm not saying I'm a hermit. Like I still see my friends. Yeah. I still go, but I'm not actively pursuing any goal. So a goal that I have is to sincerely do content creation part-time. Like, yeah, I have uses for those funds. So, but I'm not gonna action and like brainstorm or try to figure out how to do that in January and February.
Gotcha.
March will be the time where I sit down and consider and plan and record and all the things. So I do that because I think we all need like a time to just to be still, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's so necessary. I am slightly polar opposite. So for her to say that she's taking January and a bit of February off making content, I see that as like that's time gone. I'm very much,
and that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay for you. It's not okay for me.
No, I think it's okay. Period.
You can miss opportunities. So when I say okay for you, I do say that in general. Like that is okay for you. That like for me, that isn't okay. I'm very much an early. I very much have the belief. I'm very much
early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, I'm very
much. But misses the worm because you drop asleep.
I'm very much Caribbean in the aspect of like get up, do what you need to do, so you can do what you want to do later in the day. So I am an early riser. I get things done. So at the time of recording, I got up later than I normally would have wanted to, but I still got up and did all the laundry.
Yeah, and then what time are you gonna go to bed?
It doesn't matter. I can go to bed. It doesn't matter because
what is the point of waking up early if you're gonna fall asleep at 7:00?
I have the freedom to do that. That's the whole point.
I can go to sleep at 7:00 too, but I'm not tired because I got a full 8 hours of sleep.
That's fine. I can fall asleep and do it. That's the whole point. I can sleep where I want to sleep. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want to do. But anyway,
you can tell us the tension point.
As I was saying here. Yeah, I think that that works for you. That doesn't work for me. When I think about that, I see productivity as like again pace. Like how am I pacing myself throughout the year? So I would those same. If you were to use the example, like if you're taking off the January, February, though that time, I would spread that over the course of the year and have pockets where I retreat and just take a break and
I'm gonna do that
and not do things. I'm more prone to that because that keeps my pace. That keeps me at a good, healthy pace, a good, healthy rhythm where it's not gonna. If I was to do what you do, it'll probably take me a bit longer to get going and like kind of stepping on the gas. Whereas like if I'm having a consistent rhythm or pace where every X amount of weeks I'm taking this time off to relax or do whatever, that keeps me going.
That's good.
So I think that kind of works best for me. Yeah, but again, it's like it's to each their own. It's what
Yeah.
it's what works best for you and what works best for the people that you are in relationship with.
I
So
think my biggest struggle with that would be that it's not enough time. Like I find like one of my biggest struggles, like I don't have enough. I feel like I don't have enough time.
fair.
So whereas like I've been saying like I really want to study sex and sexuality. Like, I want to like, but I don't feel like I have enough time to be like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 minutes today. You'll do 10 minutes. Like to me, that doesn't feel
productive.
No, it doesn't feel productive, but it doesn't feel like I am. I think I like to like really like go deep and like stay there.
Gotcha.
With the information and like stew with the information as opposed to breaking it up.
Gotcha.
I think that is difficult
I hear that.
for me. So like even the whole idea of like, for example, and I think if you're a reader, you will attest to this. Before you had your own vehicle and you were taking the bus everywhere, you read the most books in your life. I read the most books in my life when I was in university and in high school because I was taking the bus.
Right.
I can't, like, the whole idea of reading 10 minutes, like, I'm trying to do it now, but I don't like it. I want to be able to sit for as long as I want with a book, but it's not possible. So, like, really sucks for me. But I think, I don't know what that is. Like, I really get engrossed in material and I want to sit there with something as opposed to, like, breaking up my time into other things. So, that's a hardship that I deal with.
So we've been talking about goals, of course. We've been talking about setting goals. We've been talking about what works best for us with setting goals. But we're going to bring you guys in a little bit deeper behind the veil. We're going to...
Behind the veil?
Behind the veil. We're gonna talk about how we set up our goals.
Yeah.
What
do we do?
So Nikita already mentioned that we kind of start setting up our goals from November into December of the current year going into the upcoming year. So typically what's happened in the past, sometimes it's been like a day retreat where we kind of like go to a hotel for a day, use their amenities and all things like that, and just have like a little day retreat for ourselves. Other times we just stay at home, done it in the house, and all those kind of stuff. But essentially what we do is we review the previous year or the current year that we are in, what went or what worked well and what didn't work well. What did we accomplish? What didn't we accomplish? So we kind of just make a list of all the things in the respective categories, not as a means of that grading the year and saying, oh, it was a failure year or it was an amazing year, but just for us to say like, hey, this is what we said the previous year, what did we actually do and what didn't we do. So we take like an audit essentially for the year, and
we're able to do that audit well because we have Porter,
right? So I'm gonna get there. So in to that, so what we do now after that is we look at different areas of our life, of our relational family dynamic that we want to focus on. So we talk about our son, we talk about our marriage, we talk about our family. So those are the three big areas that we tackle. And then we
add individual.
And then we add individual goals at the end. But we look at our son. So we look at what are the things spiritually that we want to work on with him this year, mentally, what are the things emotionally, cognitively, and just like experiences.
Did you say academic?
No, I didn't. Education-wise. And experiences. What are some of the experiences that we want him to have in this upcoming year? We make a list of that. We plan it out, and we go from there. Then we look at ourselves as a couple.
Sorry, before you go into that, I would also add that when we're talking about the goals for our son, we also try to be observant of the gaps that we're seeing with him. Things that we are observing in terms of like right now it's his like behavior, and just like self-regulation. What are things that we are noticing, and are there things that we should be doing differently or can be doing differently to help support him so that he can learn a skill?
Gotcha.
So yes, we talk about like what we want him to learn according to his age and development, and then we talk about, okay, what are things that we are noticing that we need to support him on as well?
Yeah. And so we do that with our son. And then we jump to us. What is it that we want to look at? What is it that we want to work towards? What are things that we want to focus on this year? If it's a family vacation or if it's a couple vacation, finances, things we want to do around our house.
Yeah. So what are the categories? So it's finances,
house rentals,
vacation. Would Christmas be considered a category?
Yeah.
I guess that's finances.
That would fall in finances, spiritually, relationally, in terms of like what we want to do together.
And relationally as it pertains to like community. Yes. That's a category too.
So I would put that under family, but yeah. I think that's really it. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the categories we kind of look at for ourselves in terms of what we want the year to look like. And then we go family, we go bigger and we say, okay, what do we want things to look like for our families or for our family? And that's where we look at, as you mentioned, community, having people over, inviting people into our ecosystem. What experiences do we want to have as a family? So that could tie into like the vacation, but also little things. So I know for one of the things in 26 that I'm bringing to the table is like quarterly
family breakfast.
Quarterly family breakfast, or even quarterly dinners where we're intentional in saying like, one Sunday or Saturday we're just gonna go out for breakfast or we're gonna go out for dinner, and we're gonna do that quarterly. And then but also just thinking about as a family, like what do we want to experience as a family? What do we want to start doing as a family?
An example of that was when we went to Atlanta last year with our son, and something I said to you was that I think we need to try to do a better job about getting our son used to walking like trails and like observing nature and just being in a space without any planned activity and nothing being done. Like we're going from point A to point B, like not doing that with him in the summer, because one thing that we noticed is that he's just like, okay, let's go. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, let's hurry up and do something else. And like, he's not accustomed to walking for any long period of time, because just the way our life is, so much of our stuff. Yeah, we both drive, but so much of the things that we use in terms of school, like daycare, church, like it's within a 20-minute radius drive or less. Yeah. So he's not accustomed to long driving anyway. So like, we're going to have to cultivate that skill of him learning to just be in a space and just walk around and just be. Because if we have a desire for us to take him to like Europe, that's something he's going to have to get accustomed to walking and noticing things and just being. Yeah. Right? So like, that's something like, okay, we need to put that on our, maybe under him or maybe under our family, so that in the summer, we're going to go and just like walk trails, go to River Valley, go downtown more in the summer and just see like what events, what's happening. So like he can get accustomed to not always jumping in the car, going to where we're going and then jumping back in the car and coming home. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, that is like what we do in terms of in the months of November going into December. And then when we've entered into that upcoming year, we meet quarterly. So one of the things that we did when we started this, we would do 6 months check-in. So we would plan November, December, do a check-in in June, and then we look at these goals back in February, in November, December of that year. Yeah, it was too long. It was too long, and we realized that after planning, we weren't being intentional with checking in on the goals. Yeah. So there were things that we would say in November to December, then we look at them in June and be like, oh yeah, 6 months has passed and we didn't even touch it. We didn't look at it. We didn't think about it. So then what we've done is we do quarterly check-ins. So after we plan in November, December, we're then going to meet in like March and do a check-in and be okay, quarter one is wrapping up. what did we do? What didn't we do? What do we need to reframe? And so forth and so forth. And that's something that we did this past year in 2025. We found it very helpful. It helped us to stay on track. It helped us to hold ourselves accountable and the things that we said we wanted to do and get some of the things that we actually said we wanted to do get done.
I would even take it a step further this year, and perhaps for me, this would be an age for me, but putting those goals somewhere so I can see it. So I plan on putting like the goals for Nikita. Like I'm gonna make a vision board, like a digital one, and it's gonna be my screensaver for my phone.
Gotcha.
So it's a constant reminder of what I'm working towards. But I think in terms of our family one, figuring out some way how to like put it up somewhere so that it's in our face. And I find that because it's like digital and it's away.
Yeah.
For me, anyways, I have a difficult time going and revisiting it on a consistent basis because it's not in my face.
It's not in your face, yeah. And again, like that is why we did the quarterly, because we realized that it wasn't in our face. These 6 months intervals, it wasn't in our face. It wasn't forefront of our mind. But now with the quarterly, it just intensified it just a bit so that it is in the forefront of our mind and in our faces. And again, we saw that to be very, very beneficial for us. Yeah. And that is how we do our goals as a family. And it's going to evolve. Things are going to change. Things that we do talk about, we may not talk about as often, and things that we aren't talking about, we're probably going to have to start talking about it because we're getting older, our son is getting older, and our needs are forever going to be changing. So that's something that we know that is going to happen. But that is how we plan. That is how we set our goals for the upcoming year.
I'm going to consider making like a checklist document for this episode, so you'll be able to download it and ask yourself, if you're a single person, or have the conversation with you and your spouse or whoever you live with, the questions about like how you set the goals and what you're working towards. So you can see that in the show notes and on our social media page.
Perfect. And listen, as we wrap up, goals, setting goals, rhythms, all of that, it's important. It is important to do for yourself, but it's also something that you don't need to be overwhelmed by. Do what works best for you. Challenge yourself, but also give yourself the opportunity to have space and time where you can rest, where you can breathe. You are not a robot. You are not a AI generated robot or anything like that. You're a human being. You need to rest. You need that time of solitude. You need that time to retreat. But it is also important to be productive. It is also important to have and act on the purpose, and act on the purpose that you have for yourself in the earth. We are called to be purposeful individuals, and it is important to have a plan in how we do that. But it's also important to have balance. So make sure as you're planning, as you are desiring to execute said goals, that you have a balance. All right. And as usual, if you are not following us on social media, please follow us. Please like this video. Please share this video with people that you are in relationship with. And as usual, I hope this helps. Love ya. Peace. Thank you for listening to this episode of Melanin Combos.
If you'd like to support, share this episode with a friend and let us know on socials what points resonated with you.
We hope this helps. Love you. Peace.